Art thieves do be thieving, guys. And it sucks. So we have this post, and I believe their name is pronounced Mortadella. I'm sorry. But they write, please read. This person is using my Christmas Your Character Here base, putting it through AI, and then selling it as if it were their own. Please don't buy from them. It's a scam. I do not give my permission for my artwork to be used with AI. Thank you for reading, and please stay safe. This is their Your Character Here in question with their watermark on it. This is super cute. Wow, wait, this is so pretty. I love the expressive face and how warm this piece looks. Really, really cute. And then we have this piece in question where it's legit the same thing, like same outfit, same shoe, same setup with the Christmas tree here, fireplace in the back. They're holding a present, I guess, instead of like a snow globe. Even the candy canes on the tree are like the same. And another user writes, this a-hole traced your art. You can see this by matching the lines and the similar arrangement of objects. And if we see, yep. Why is every candy cane in the exact same place? The body is the same, the hands are in the same location, the Christmas socks, I guess, is like a little lower. But the head shape, everything I position, it's all exactly the same. And Mortadella says, literally, it's the exact same drawing, not even a small change or anything. And Mills writes, I'm sorry this happened to you. I sent some nice words to them because I hate tracers as much as AI bros, because both of them are just wannabe artists who can't even start to learn bases, and they both are parasites of the art community. Another person says, I'm not sure it's AI, but it's definitely traced, and that's not okay. And Mortadella says, I thought it was AI since they have older art that looks legit, and the image itself has a lot of mistakes. Another user says, yeah, it's definitely AI. The shoes look extremely different from each other. Colors on the socks are messed up. Peep the green one on the left. Our right leg, that's all green but has a random red part. Bow abomination. On a complete side note, I'm curious if you think this was traced or AI. Regardless, it is a gross encroachment of the artist's boundaries and the artist's piece. Like, definitely doing way too much. I think it's just a bit hard to tell because the image is so grainy that it's hard to see like full details. On first glance, the style and everything looks hand-drawn, but I mean, in hindsight, you could just be like, well, because they fed the original piece to AI. Looking closely, there's some parts of it that just look suspicious to me. One, again, the fingernails, right? 3 out of 4 visible fingers have fingernails, but it's just completely missing on the index finger. And that level of inconsistency is something you might find in like AI. One thing though that could maybe indicate it's human drawn is the fact they didn't even finish the piece, which is funny, right? Because there's this hand that's holding the present. The arm is not colored in. So the arm is the exact same color as the background, like as the fireplace. So either this is like AI skipping it, or it is the original artist forgetting to color fill in the arm. But regardless, this is just like a hilarious oversight. Here we have another error in the coloring where the trim detail is red, but the inside of the coat color doesn't match. Like the inside of the coat is white, but here they colored it green for some reason. And then they colored the background white, except the background should be tan because the bricking of the fireplace is tan, and that should still be visible in this crack here. Where like you can see in Morta's piece, right? What's visible in that slight gap is the actual fire, so you can see it's orange. And of course, the underside of the coat is red and even, and it makes sense on both sides. And then again, we have some weird chain detailing happening on the side, like, and the bow abomination. There's this like chain coming down, and then it does some garbled mess down here. And then, yeah, right here, random red spot on the stripes of the thighs. Also, the stripes coloring doesn't make sense, right? Like here it's alternating, you know, red, green, red, green. Here it's red, 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 green, red, red, green, green, and then the green turned into red and then red. And then the underside of the leg is all red. And the shoes also don't match. They're not the same shoe, right? Like here the toe is striped and here it's not. And again, you can see the consistency in Morta's piece. So I'm curious on your thoughts. Personally, looking at this, like looking at all of the errors made in the piece, I'm actually thinking this is probably AI because there's too many errors where it doesn't add up to an error a human would make. I think the final nail in the coffin is this, the Santa hat itself, okay? It's a red Santa hat with like a thin cotton fur trim. And then the fur trim becomes this like really, really curly wool type trim. And that's because in Morta's piece, they drew a really, really curly wool like cowl around the neck. And then the trim of the hat is also that same thing. There's no extra white trim on the hat. It's like she has like a head of like really curly white hair and there's a Santa hat on top of it. To me, this looks like AI garbled it up and like did not convey the information properly. And there's like what looks like artifacts on the stars of the tree itself. So to me, this is giving AI. But it is interesting because if you go to the posters page, because these pieces also have errors, but they look decently rendered. It could be like a drawing drawn on top of an AI background though as well, because the background looks very highly rendered and the actual character itself is lacking that level of rendering, right? Because like here we have this character and she's literally missing her right arm and she's missing her bottom half of her left leg. Her leg is crossed, her leg should be visible behind this leg and it's just gone. And then this arm would be visible in some way, shape, or form here. Also gone. Not to mention the fact the chair has 3 legs. There's a leg here, there's a leg in the middle of the chair, and I'm supposing there's like a leg here as well. Somebody commented stolen art. So maybe this is like an original person's artwork that they just pasted on top of this background. But yeah, this art piece, the character might be hand-drawn, but the background is most definitely AI. This tree stem doesn't even go all the way down. The branches don't go all the way down. This one turns into the green leaves here. And then if we zoom into the bottom, these are just all artifacts all over the floor, like more artifacts. And not to mention the absolute warping happening up here with the background. Worst case scenario, everything is AI generated. Best case scenario, the backgrounds are AI generated and they actually draw characters on top of the background. But regardless, it's most definitely evident that they took Mortadella's your character here and then encroach on their boundaries by running it through AI or directly tracing it to create their piece, to literally sell it as a your character here, creating direct competition to the original artist. I think the most like funny thing to me is the fact that they call themselves Mikasa Ackerman. Don't do my favorite anime Attack on Titan like this, guys. Mikasa whenever, okay? And on the same level of art scammers, we have another fake artist account. There's more and more of these popping up every day. This is posted to threads by user Lilies D, writing, "An artist is trying to get my art out there. I'm so tired of AI." And it's a user by the name of Isabellatrix. By the way, don't send hate to any parties involved. They write, "Wake up algorithm, trying to get my art seen on threads." And it's a photo of allegedly them and some artwork. And the OP says, "I think it's a fake account, to be honest. Maybe it's real." So in terms of whether the account is real or not, it's a little hard to tell because there have been like accounts like this that have been popping up where the girl is completely AI generated. Now this person actually has videos of themselves on their page where it does not look AI generated. Now the thing is though, it could be a completely different person just existing in the corner of their internet, and it could be their identity that's being stolen and used as this like fake art account, right? Where they're like using her as the face of it, even though she has no idea. That could be possible. The artwork is most definitely AI. We have this user critically Marco saying, "I came across that profile on my feed just yesterday and felt the exact same about it. I looked through a few of the art images and I'm very certain they're all AI. Nothing is consistent among the sketches and the final line work images. I hate this stuff. 20k plus followers and all they do is spam slop." Look, here we have the sketch, which is of kind of like a woman in armor with long flowing hair holding a sword. The logic of this is already odd because like wouldn't you hold the sword by the hilt and not the, I don't know, stabby part of the sword, but I digress. The hand looks normal. And then we have a sketch, a more detailed sketch. The refinement of the sketch is already looking more odd. There's all these like cracks in the armor. Maybe it's a rendering style, but like I wouldn't want cracked armor if I were fighting in a war. And secondly, the sword is again odd. The base of the sword somehow is thinner than the actual blade itself. And then the hilt of it here, like the handle that protrudes out, it's like longer on one side than the other. And then we have this final piece, the finished piece. Wow. She's got 6 fingers. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then with the handle, the thumb is wrapping around this way. 6. That to me is already telling it's AI. How did you go from 4 fingers in this sketch to 5? Like sometimes you accidentally draw an extra finger, you muck up, happens, but the sketch was correct. So where did the extra fingers come from? And then we have the hair looping out back into itself again. And now the blade only has like 1 handlebar protrusion. I'm so jet lagged. I'm blanking on what this is called. But like the other side is just missing now. What? And again, the logic doesn't make sense. She's holding the sword by the blade. And the sword went from having like, you know, that one like raised ridge in the middle. And now it's 2 ridges down the sword. What happened there? There's more and more of these accounts popping up every day, I swear, where they use a pretty woman and they post some AI artwork next to it. And they use it just to masquerade a bunch of followers and likes. Use your due diligence, guys. Don't fall for random stuff you see on the internet. It kind of sucks now because like back in the day, it was the whole seeing is believing, but now seeing is not believing because you can AI generate a bunch of stuff and make it seem like it's real when it's actually not. Send love to actual artists, support actual artists. Mortadella, I am so sorry for what the other person did. I'll have them linked down below so you can drop them some support. So yeah, if you like this video, I appreciate it if you like and subscribe. This is not a hickey. I have sensitive skin and I'm allergic to heat, so it's It's warm and the necklace is irritating my skin, but it's pretty, so I want to keep wearing it. I have an Etsy with digital art for streamers and creators. I have a Coffee with free resources, like a free sponsorship guide. I also am trying to get my Instagram to 100K, so we're a bit off, like 6K off, but we're working towards it. So yeah, I also stream on Twitch 3 days a week. So Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays at 6 p.m. PST. Hope to catch y'all there or in another video. Peace.